Hello everyone! Welcome back to my construction vlog. On the screen, you can see a 3D drawing that simulates how the building will look when completed. And now, let's take a look back at the entire construction journey of the first floor. An important step before moving to the next level. Let's get started. To start, let's move on to the ground leveling stage. As you can see, the excavator is continuously scooping sand and filling the empty squares. These are the foundation molds. This is where the reinforced concrete footings will be placed, supporting the entire structure of the house later on. Once enough sand is in place, the excavator bucket lifts and lowers rhythmically, spreading the sand evenly to create a smooth, level layer in each foundation square. See that? Each foundation square is now leveled perfectly by the excavator. The foundation is complete. Now it's time to lay the first rows of bricks for the wall. Next is the footing brick layer. This is the brick layer built directly on the foundation, acting as a base for the wall. It raises the floor level and provides a stable surface to start building the wall. Usually masons build about 4 rows of bricks first to set the form. Then continue upward. This makes alignment easier and ensures the wall is straight and even from bottom to top. On the 4th brick row, at regular intervals, the workers insert steel bars as markers. These bars help align the rows and control the wall's height accurately. Next comes compacting the sand after leveling the foundation pit. As you can see, the worker is using a compactor. This is called a frog compactor. Funny name, right? Not because of the hop-hop sound, but because it jumps like a frog. Each hop presses strongly onto the ground, compacting the sand layer below, making the foundation firm and ready for the next steps. Looking from above, you can clearly see the difference. The compacted areas are flat and smooth, while the uncompacted areas are uneven. That's why the compaction step, though simple, is extremely important. A solid foundation ensures a strong and durable house. This is the result after using the compactor. However, we still need to water, level, and smooth it further. Let's move on to the steel cutting stage. Once the steel is cut according to the design, the workers weave it perpendicular to each other. each bar fitting neatly like a chessboard. Each joint is tightly twisted with wire, ensuring the steel frame is solid and does not shift even slightly. Before pouring the floor concrete, we remove a formwork panel to create space, making it easier to pour the concrete and inspect and clean the foundation inside. And the moment has arrived. The first truck of fresh concrete is being poured onto the foundation. Speaking of the concrete leveling layer, there are a few important points I want to share with you. First, the mix ratio, usually M100 to M150, depending on the design. When mixing on site, it must be thoroughly mixed, ensuring no lumps and that the concrete is workable enough to spread evenly across the surface. Finally, check the slump, around 8 to 12 centimeters for the leveling layer. This ensures the concrete is easy to work with while keeping the floor solid. As soon as it's poured, the workers quickly used shovels and specialized tools to spread the concrete to all edges of the formwork, making every move swift and precise. To achieve optimal smoothness and flatness, workers use trowels in a direction perpendicular to the floor axis, leveling bit by bit to remove air bubbles and uneven spots. This ensures the concrete reaches the design elevation with a flatness tolerance of plus or minus 3 millimeters and enhances adhesion with the finishing layer. Looking at this smooth, flat layer, you can see the floor is solid, at the correct height, and perfectly level as designed. Now, let's move on to tying and erecting the rebar. You can see the steel ties are securely fastened to the main bars with soft wire, each connection twisted 2 to 3 times, keeping the steel stable during concrete pouring and maintaining the correct spacing. Before erecting columns, the supervisor determines the column's center. First, use a tape measure from fixed edges, walls, reference axes, to find the center, then mark it on the floor. Next, stretch a string along the 2 center points at each end. Finally, measure diagonally from one corner to the opposite to ensure a precise square or rectangle. Now let's assemble the column rebar. Place the column rebar, with hoops inserted, at the marked center on the foundation. At the intersection of the 4 main bars, the workers twist the wire 2 to 3 times to secure them, forming a central hook. This is the key to keeping the column frame upright and in the correct shape. The hoops are then fastened onto the frame. And that completes the rebar erection for the first floor. The next step is installing the column formwork panels. Mixing mortar is very labor-intensive because the worker must continuously feed materials into the mixer to ensure uniform and correctly proportioned concrete. For reinforced concrete pouring, all steps, scooping, transporting, pouring, and tapping the formwork must be continuous and rhythmic. Interruptions can cause uneven setting, air pockets, poor adhesion to the rebar, and compromise structural quality. Look, everyone. 3 sides of the formwork are assembled and aligned with the rebar. And the last panel is now in place, closing the column frame. The formwork is solid and at the correct elevation. The concrete batches are poured into small wheelbarrows, transported to the correct positions, and added to old mortar areas. This ensures a smooth, continuous, and uninterrupted pouring process. In the wall building stage, we use a staggered bricklaying method to enhance the wall's bonding and stability. Every 3 to 4 courses of horizontal bricks, there is one vertical course, called a standing brick row. This vertical course helps connect the bricks above and below, increasing load-bearing capacity and wall stability, preventing cracking after construction. To build a wall, first scoop a sufficient amount of mortar and spread it evenly on the floor or the underlying brick surface to create a bonding layer. Next, place the brick on the mortar, align it along the string line, and gently tap with a hammer to secure it and spread the mortar evenly. Finally, use a trowel or scraper to remove excess mortar, especially in the joints, ensuring a clean surface and uniform joints. At each wall, assistants help the main bricklayer, continuously providing bricks and mortar, ready so the main worker can work quickly and continuously. This coordination increases construction speed, ensures smooth and accurate work, and keeps the wall consistent, preventing the mortar from drying before placing bricks. Before building a wall with a door, the worker measures precisely with a tape measure according to the plan. Then, sample bricks are placed to mark the edges of the doors, ensuring the following rows are at the correct height and spacing. This step is extremely important to keep the wall straight and uniform, preventing misalignment and saving time on corrections after construction. Now the wall with the main door and 2 windows is almost complete. Let's continue with the remaining walls. Bricks and mortar are always supplied in sufficient amounts. The bricks are laid in sequence, forming straight, continuous, and solid rows. After checking the height and vertical alignment with a plumb line, the worker continues building new rows of bricks. Each brick is carefully aligned, tapped, and excess mortar removed, ensuring continuous, straight, and solid rows. Only 2 rows of bricks remain to complete this wall. The final bricks are precisely aligned, tapped, and excess mortar removed to ensure straight, uniform joints. And thus, another wall is completed. Let's move on to the next wall. As with the other walls, placing bricks, gentle tapping, and scraping mortar are repeated rhythmically. This repetition, though simple, is crucial for achieving optimal quality on the entire first floor. When the mortar reaches the optimal technical consistency, the worker rotates and tilts the mixer to pour into waiting wheelbarrows. Each time the outside of a brick is plastered, the worker uses a trowel to remove excess mortar. This keeps the wall surface flat, joints uniform, and the wall cleaner. That completes the wall building stage. You can see each row of bricks is straight, with uniform joints, ensuring a solid and visually appealing wall, exactly as per the design. Now, let's move on to the stage of erecting formwork columns for the first floor roof. Look here, everyone. A worker is measuring and marking positions on wooden boards with a pencil. Extra parts are cut immediately. Then the boards are lifted and fitted tightly against the supporting braces. After erecting the formwork, the worker tightens the clamps, ties the braces, and secures them to the lower support beams. This step ensures the formwork is stable. Boards are tightly fitted, preventing movement during concrete pouring, and keeping the first floor roof columns vertical and sturdy according to the design. The next boards are carefully measured and marked before installation by the worker's skilled hands. Right now, on the first floor roof, the workers are erecting the roof formwork panels. These boards are firmly braced with clamps, ensuring they do not shift during construction. These formwork panels shape the roof slab, hold the concrete at the correct height and form during pouring, and ensure the roof structure is solid and accurate according to design. Wooden battens are lifted and evenly distributed on the roof. Viewed from above, they look like bed ladders. They help stabilize the formwork, distribute forces evenly, and maintain proper spacing between the boards. Nail a small board at the contact point between the brace and formwork panel to secure the formwork and ensure even concrete pouring. Thus, the process of erecting the first floor roof formwork columns is complete. From measuring, building the frame, securing each brace, to fixing the boards, everything is done meticulously to ensure the formwork is sturdy and aligned. Now everything is ready for the next construction stage.
Now that everything is ready, let's move on to the first floor roof rebar installation. You can see two workers using specialized tools to bend the ends of steel bars at 90 degrees. This bend creates an anchor point, allowing the bars to connect securely with other steel bars in the structure, ensuring beam strength and stability. The main steel bars are tied to the column reinforcement with wire, creating a solid connection between the beams and column system, ensuring load-bearing capacity and structural stability. Notice how the 5/6 stirrups are being fixed to the beam frame with soft wire, tightly twisted at each point according to the drawing spacing, keeping the frame stable during concrete pouring. Steel fabrication requires millimeter precision and meticulous execution. Each time a cut is made, the worker checks measurements repeatedly to ensure accuracy with the design. The bottom steel layer, along with the main bars, is laid in two directions, longitudinal and transverse. Typically, longitudinal bars are spaced 150 millimeters apart, and transverse bars 200 millimeters apart, adjustable per design. Next, the top steel layer will be installed. This is negative moment steel, reinforcing the slab and reducing deflection at beam edges. And that completes the first floor roof rebar installation. Now, let's begin the first floor roof concrete pouring stage. The boards are being lifted up to serve as walkways, distribute load, and protect the formwork beneath. Each formwork board is placed and tied to the first floor roof beams with soft wire connections, keeping the formwork stable throughout construction. See, the supports under the roof steel help fix positions, maintain correct height, and ensure the protective concrete layer meets standards.
All connections must be tightly twisted to ensure secure structural linking. In this project, we use a concrete pump to transport the mix from the ground to the roof. The pump pipe is firmly fixed, while the nozzle can rotate to spread concrete evenly across all areas. The concrete mixer truck is brought close to the pump, ready for the rooftop pumping process. Look, fresh concrete is being pumped up. After the concrete is pumped up, the workers quickly level the mixture and add water if needed to smooth the surface. Next, they use long, specialized trowels to smooth the concrete, ensuring correct height and flatness, strengthening the slab. Concrete is continuously pumped from one area to another. Just a little more. Concrete is still being continuously pumped. Workers evenly spread it and smooth with long trowels. Every step is urgent but careful, ensuring the roof slab is flat, solid, and meets technical standards. And that completes the first floor roof concrete pouring. We've completed the journey of building the first floor together. If you enjoyed it, please like and follow so you won't miss the next stages. Goodbye, and see you next time. First floor, I believe on what eye with you. I've heard something.